my opinion, the greatest European player in NBA history. Are you ready for this, Norbz? Drazen Petrovic.
I got a big dream and I aim high. Take a risk every time I play dice. I shake 'em up and it's snake eyes. I'm the same guy on the same grind. Busy printing money, watch the paint dry. My intuition told me through the grapevine that I'ma get rich and I ain't lying. Yeah. Get that money, I'ma flex. I get that money, I'ma flex. I get that money, I'ma flex.
Somebody else beats you. Three on the way. We got it! And they let the greatest player in the game take the game-winning three.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Tea Time with Tommy, NBA Raptors podcast. This is Tommy Lee, and beside me, my co-host extraordinaire, Norbz Cabrera. And how are you doing, Norbz?
Pretty good. I mean, we should be talking about baseball, but since you're a very enthusiastic about the NBA season coming up, like I gotta put up with this with you and talk about basketball. But anyway,
yeah, man.
I'm all good.
NBA, you're right. Norbz Cabrera's right, ladies and gentlemen. NBA has begun. Season media training has begun. It looks like exciting times ahead for the NBA fans, like all of us, and these guys are going to lose again. They're going to lose again.
Well, the baseball postseason is also exciting, but anyway, let's get on with this.
Oh, frick. Forget baseball, okay? Enough with that Shohei Ohtani garbage. All right, Norbz. So today's going to be a special episode, as you know, Norbz, and Tea Time viewers, because next 2 weeks, we're going to take a hiatus because I will be in Europe. Yes, I will be in Europe, France, and England, and Switzerland, and Italy.
So jelly right now.
I'm sorry, hey, man.
Yeah, you might come across some NBA European players there while you're at it in those countries.
Yes, exactly. They'll be like, bonjour, or something like that, you know? So, it's, or ciao, as you say in Italy. Well, I'm gonna get in trouble, but
probably bump into a Tony Parker at some point. He's
that'd be
really
great.
A gracious French ambassador over there.
He might diss me like Vince Carter dissed me in person, Norbz.
Well, at least if you come across some European NBA players there, they might treat you better.
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
The
better
North
than that.
American.
That douchebag Vince Sandy over there. But anyways, enough of my stories of the past. So it's gonna be going to Europe for 2 weeks. So I think a little hiatus. Give Norbz, Cabrera, Sarah Taplin, Akeem a break. And but therefore, this topic will be a special NBA Europe topic. Woo! Let's do this, Norbz, NBA European topic. And we are gonna discuss the greatest European players in NBA history, guys. So get ready, put your seatbelts on, get your tea, and let's go. Norbz Cabrera, again, has nothing to drink for this episode, but the man doesn't want to be hydrated ever. He is a walking sandman.
I just had dinner, so I had a lot of liquid in me already, thanks.
All right. I got a lot of meatloaf and wine, right, man? Meatloaf and wine. So, all right, let's go. Enough with my shenanigans. Let's go with the first question, Norbz, for the special episode, NBA Europe. First question is, who is the greatest European player in NBA history, in your opinion?
Man, without question, I got to say one of my all-time favorites, Dirk Nowitzki of the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, he's just a special player. Like, he's a Hall of Famer, 14-time All-Star, 2011 NBA champion from my favorite team, the Dallas Mavericks. Almost won the NBA title last season. Boston, took it from them, but they were a more deserving team. But anyhow, Dirk Nowitzki, he's very phenomenal player. My favorite, one of my all-time favorites when it comes to European players. His accolades just says it all. Spent 21 years with the same team, the Dallas Mavericks. He had his great season in 2006 and 7, 20.7 points per game. Like, you name it. Like, he is an ambassador in the game. Like, he's the pride and joy of Germany. Hall of Famer. Like just an unbelievable player. He played, some seasons with Steve Nash in Dallas, alongside Jason Kidd. The terrific team back in the day in 2011. Mark Cuban, he's very appreciative of Dirk Nowitzki's services in Dallas. So yeah, I gotta say, bar none, Dirk Nowitzki up there.
Can't argue with that, Norbz. I think everyone agrees with that. Even my brother, who knows nothing about basketball. I'm kidding. I love my brother. Dirk Nowitzki. You cannot argue with that. I think there's three names that are indisputable: is Dirk Nowitzki, Manu Ginobili, or he currently the great Nikola Jokic. Those three, you just can't argue. If you say they're the greatest European basketball player ever, it's debatable. We can debate stats between those three and everything, Norbs. And legacy and titles, but I mean, if you mention one of those three, you really can't dispute it, right? Ginobili, Jokic, or Nowitzki. I'm gonna go with a different player, and feel free to disagree, which you will do, Norbs. Guaranteed this one. I think the greatest European player ever, you ready, is Andrea Bargnani. I think he.
I see
right, I was waiting for your reaction. Another joke.
I see the captions when you're editing this very soon that there's going to be a lot of emojis about the shock face and question marks and things like that.
I was a bad joke. Sorry, Raptors. Sorry, Norbz Raptors fans. He was absolutely horrendous for us, so that was a joke. Let me rephrase it. Well, it's not Bargnani. It was just a joke. Love you, Andrea, but you were.
I have his bobblehead too. I have his bobblehead.
Yeah, and that dunk he tried to do against the Nets when he tried to jump over some Nets player as a Knick, and he just ran into him. That's Google that, guys. YouTube Bargnani trying to dunk over somebody. He tried to dunk over a Nets player. Anyway, I don't want to embarrass poor Andrea. All right. My opinion, the greatest European player in NBA history. Are you ready for this, Norbs? Drazen Petrovic. Yes, I said it. The great Croatian player, Drazen Petrovic of the early 90s. He played with the Blazers, and then he played with the Nets. Legendary Croatian and Yugoslavian basketball player when, there was old Yugoslavia back in the day. Vlade Divac, Tony Kukoc, Dino Raja, and Drazen Petrovic, the best player on that team. And then later they split up, unfortunately, because of the Yugoslavian Civil War. Horrible, tragic war. And from there, they split up in different countries. And Petrovic represented Croatia. But here's the thing. People are going to argue. You're going to argue. Feel free to debate and argue, Norbz. Here's the thing with why I say he's the greatest. His career was just coming into his prime before he passed away, unfortunately, in that tragic car accident in 1992 or 93, I believe he passed away. Very young age. He was in his prime, 28, 29 years old, and he was just destroying opponents in the NBA for the New Jersey Nets. The Portland Trailblazers at that time did not give him a good look, didn't give him enough playing time, fair or unfair. So he asked for a trade. Once he headed to the Nets, with Kenny Anderson, Derek Coleman, that team was on the rise, on the pinnacle of being a contender. They wouldn't have beat the Jordan Bulls, but they're on that pinnacle. And unfortunately, Drazen Petrovic passed away. But this guy, the 3-point assassin, a gunner. I think you're old enough to see him back in the day. I was just a kid, Norris, when I saw him in his before he passed away with the Nets and the 1992 Dream Team. If you go back and you ask any of the 92 Dream Team players when they went up against Croatia in the gold medal finals, they'll tell you Petrovic was an animal. He was a dog. He was going to, no matter how much of a lead they had on them, he was coming for you, no matter what the game was. Ask Jordan that, Scottie Pippen, ask Charles Barkley on that team. This guy was just a stud for Team Croatia and the New Jersey Nets. And his points per game, I'm looking at it right now before he passed away, it was 20.6. First year in the Nets, second year with the Nets, and then the last year with the Nets before he passed away, 22.3 points per game. So, of course, people can call me crazy. People can argue with me. Well, Petrovic, well, who's he? But I think he was in that threshold of becoming the greatest of all time. Unfortunately, he passed away before he could come to fruition. So, real quickly.
Very underrated name. That's that's great. I mean, great player as well. Terrific, guy, and yeah, he really made contributions to the NBA really well.
Absolutely, the great late Drazen Petrovic. So after that, Norbz, I'm going to have to go with question number 2. This is kind of a loaded question, so do the best you can. And Tea Time viewers, this will, all you NBA basketball fans, get your minds exploding. If you could make a team of the 5 greatest European NBA players of all time, Norbz, who would that team be? Just name me the 5 top. Doesn't matter about positions. Doesn't matter. Just name me the top 5.
I would say, you know what, like, watching basketball in the 90s and the 2000s, there are a lot of terrific European players. And like, I must say that, bringing that European style of play in the NBA, like to me, European basketball players are very, technically sound. They're very down to earth, and they're very like good with their craft, because they serve as clutch players. As much as the North American players as well. In this continent, I would say my top 5 would be guys like Pau Gasol, Peja Stojakovic. I really enjoyed Peja Stojakovic's time with the Sacramento Kings. Like, he really electrified the audience, the fans, in the old Arco Arena. I mean, like it was the loudest arena in the NBA for a while. In those playoff years, as a Sacramento King, like that was an electrifying time in Sacramento, and I really enjoy Pau Gasol's play. He was a great great Los Angeles Laker, playing alongside the late great Kobe Bryant, and he's also I believe a godfather for one of his daughters. One of Kobe's daughters. I mean, like, he was an inspiration to everyone in Los Angeles. So Pau Gasol, Luka Doncic, my current Dallas Maverick. He's great as well. He nearly won the NBA title last year. So he's terrific. He's a tremendous player, tremendous body. Electrifying the audience and the fans all the time. So I gotta pick him. Tony Parker, another one of my favorites. A great ambassador in France. One of the greatest. One of the greatest of all time. Hall of Famer, 4-time NBA champion. Played alongside Tim Duncan with the Spurs. Winning so many championships there in San Antonio. And I gotta put Dirk Nowitzki back in there. He's my all-time favorite European player, and solid player in his time. 31,560 points for the Mavericks. Like, that's a 6th all-time, just ahead of Wilt Chamberlain. So I mean, those players, like, I've idolized watching over the years. They've over the years, and currently too, with Luka Doncic still playing. So I gotta say that that's a sensational list for me, and it's truly inspirational to watch European players, because they're a lot down to earth, very entertaining, clutch players. They really contribute a lot to the team. So definitely those 5 come to mind for me.
So you got let me get straight, Norbs. You got Luka Doncic,
Dirk,
Nowitzki, Peja Stojakovic, Tony Parker,
Pau Gasol.
Yeah, what an awful list that is. Awful list, man.
Did I name 4 or 5?
No, you named 5. Yeah. That's an awful list. Horrible job. No, I'm kidding. Great list, man. Great list. You can't deny that. I'm gonna go with my 5 here. So of course I'm gonna name Petrovic. I'm gonna name Dirk Nowitzki, and I'm gonna go for I know what, it's gonna be tough. I'm gonna go for Ginobili. The guy won 3 titles, 5 titles with the Spurs, or 3. I think it was 3 with the Spurs and Tim Duncan and Tony Parker. Now this is gonna really be interesting, guys. Comment below if me and Norbs got it right. Probably didn't. Comment below if you guys think we're wrong with our names. So we got So we got those three. I got Petrovic, Nowitzki, and Ginobili. These two are gonna be interesting. So the other one, if you remember, Norbz, back in the Lithuania, old Soviet Union days, Aridis Sabonis, Domantas Sabonis' dad. Yep, the young Domantas Sabonis who's playing with the Sacramento Kings, his father, Aridis. Google him. What an amazing player. He was like Shaq or Olajuwon before Shaq or Olajuwon. This guy was a big-bodied center who could move like a Tony Parker or like Pistol Pete Maravich with the ball. Like he could dribble, he could shoot, he could just dominate down low. He could do it all. This is when he was in his prime before he went to the NBA with the Portland Trailblazers, Norbs. And he was just dynamite. We don't have tapes of him. No one has tapes of him when he was in his prime in the Soviet Union. But man, I wish we could have had highlight reels of him in his prime. So I'm going to go Sabonis. And the fifth, I'm just going to crown him now. This is too early. But I'm going to crown him now. Victor Wembanyama. Yes, I said it. Only the second, he's getting into his second year as a Spur. But I believe if he just keeps his head straight, keeps that Mamba mentality of practice going within him, and just stays healthy, I think he's going to become the best player in the league, Norbs. I think he's going to take the torch from LeBron, and he's just going to take the Spurs to a legendary dynasty if they surround him with the best players. So yes, Victor Wembanyama. So I got Petrovic, Nowitzki, Ginobili, Aridis Sabonis, and Victor Wembanyama. Top five. You like that top five or what?
Solid. I would very if you apply the 80s and 90s there, that's a solid list. Really good list actually. Lots of clutch players in that list.
Oh, I think we made this into one team. Could you imagine they your five and my five became one team and took on like the 92 Dream Team or something? Oh, where's my NBA 2K system? Where's our NBA 2K system, so we can play this game? But yeah, of course, we forgot the great Vlade Divac. We left him out. Of course, we're gonna leave out a lot. Luka Doncic, we left him out. Like we left out a lot of great. Tony Kukoc. How can we forget Tony Kukoc, right? But that's how many great players there are, guys, in the NBA. All right, Norbs, I'll give you 1 minute. Who do you think is the next great European NBA player that can in the NBA? Give you 1 minute.
Well, Luka Doncic, to me, he's really playing solid for the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, he led his team to the NBA Finals. I think he's going to do a lot more great things. If only, I mean, the Dallas Mavericks are, they just have to keep focused on next season. They have really good talent. Mark Cuban is, has a lot of optimism for this team going forward. Dallas is a force to be reckoned with for next season. I think they're gonna get back in the playoff hunt, and really shine. And Luka Doncic is a great leader. He's a great leader. He's a generational talent in my book. So, he's gonna be good for years to come. And he's already 5 years in the NBA. Drafted by the Atlanta Hawks and already made 4 All-Star appearances. So there's more to Luka Doncic than meets the eye. And I think he's going to shine, for years to come. And only 24 years old. Can you imagine that? He's going to have a great, long, successful career. And hopefully he, follows on Dirk Nowitzki's footsteps to stay in Dallas, to be a leader, to be a ambassador.
All right, that's 5 minutes long, man. I said 1 minute. What are you doing?
Well, this is not the U.S.
Right over the time.
On. Yeah.
But, once again, ladies and gentlemen, Norb's going overtime. Not look at his watch. But yes, I do agree with you, Norbs. Sorry to cut you off. Yes, Luka Doncic looks like the future. I think it's Victor Wembanyama, but we can debate. Comment below, guys. Who you think they're the greatest players in European players in NBA history? This is Norbz Cabrera. This is Tommy Lee. Signing out. Don't go over the time again, man.
Baseball postseason. Come on, let's go.
Take care, guys.
Hey guys, make sure you like, subscribe, and follow Tea Time with Tommy so that you never miss an episode and you catch all of the great, fantastic news and topics that we're about to talk about.